I'm going to do a video today about this that I just got in the post because I've been waiting a long time. 20 years just to have a pair of knees. It's time to look at Legacy Armada Universe Megatron. I'd be counting down the days until the Optimus comes out, but of course, you know, we don't get exact release dates or anything, so it's just kind of like, maybe it'll come out in July. And I'll just continue to wait. But until then, I've got something nice and meaty. Hopefully, it's nice and meaty, you know. Leaders being what they are these days, you kind of can't really tell, can you? To get my teeth into, like... It's... I actually just did that. The drawers of plastic-free packaging. Proper, updated Armada Megatron. I got that Combinables one that came out in 2015. I paid 60 quid for that. I pre-ordered it to make sure I got it the day it came out. It was alright, you know, it's cool that it had the rolling treads and it has some great light piping. But what was going on with that Leader Megatron mould just to begin with? You know, like, that's a weird bloody toy, isn't it? So we can forget about that and leave him in the bottom of the box for a while. Probably not very long, because I'll probably get it out and do some pictures with this one. But anyway, this is the proper thing. Leader 1 isn't here, but, you know, he's got all the rest of the stuff. I say all the rest of the stuff. Why does he do this? This is the bit I'm really kind of confused about. They don't give him the sword, the little shiv that pops out of his mitt, but you can stick the end of the cannon on his arm? Like, he's never done that. That's never been a thing, in case you didn't know. I don't know, maybe they're going to repaint him into animated Shockwave and that can be a thing for him. I'm clutching at straws here because this has just got me making big question marks around my head whenever I look at this. But you know, he's got the big gun shooting from the hip, like the G1 toy does, which I have found out recently because I got my hands on one of them, and it's like, oh, that's a cool, interesting callback that I don't think anyone would have expected. And obviously, you've had 20 years to talk about that. That's something new to mention on a video, isn't it? But yeah, you know, he's got orange bits, he's got purple bits. The bit can swing round and go on his tummy, and he can do the. It's nearly all there. But then I suppose, really, when the original toy is still such an amazing piece, you don't need this new one to do all those things, because that still does all those things. And, you know, without Minicom play pattern, you kind of think, well, how much would you need to try and replicate on a new one, when the new one, all you really want it to do is just move a bit more and have knees and stuff, and that's what this one does. So here we go. I'm bare hanging it into the box because it's only going to go in the bin. Oosh! Oh my god! I didn't expect that. He's in there in vehicle mode. Yes, mate. Look at that. Oh, nice big green handful of a tank chunk. That's what we like. And then down here separately is a little phallic end of his tank gun. There we go. Looking good. Yes, already. Let's snip off all the nice paper ties. I'm so glad they use now. Boosh! This is a nice tank mode. It's not as big as the old one, but you know, you can't really expect anything these days to be as big as an original Armada toy, can you? Because they were working some kind of magic with the budgets there to make incredibly huge toys for not that much money. Like, you got to think, the original Armada Megatron only cost 25 quid. What? And it does all the lights and sounds and missiles and stuff, and is massive and clicky, and it was a different time. Straight off the bat, the colours are spot on. You've got the yellow light on there. This bit isn't clear where it would have lit up, but I like the way they've made it gunmetal instead. The missiles are built in, and what? Oh, all right. I've just pulled the whole chunk off by mistake. Why does it do that? Why does it spin? What? All right, okay. Well, it's on a very sort of tight detent there, and it can't. Yeah. Oh, that's why it comes off, because I'm trying to push it over this way for the tank firing position. It can't do it. I can't do it. It just goes straight up. Oh dear, there's a minus point already. But I do love all the sculpting that you've got on here. You know, they've even done the little grill where the sound would have come out on the old one, and the spring for the mechanism for the firing of this, which doesn't do it, of course. Not sure about the mismatch of colours between the bits of the cannon there, but what you're going to do. I think the biggest sort of egregious point in this mode that stands out to my eye is why they haven't painted all the orange bit on there. What's going on here? Why have they just done that side of it? It's like, oh no, oh, we ran out of paint. Oh, whoops, no one cares, because this is just a sculpted in, now defunct feature that would have been a Minicom ramp that doesn't do anything now. Why have they just painted the side of it? What are you doing? They've put some gunmetal paint on these bits that don't need to be painted, that should all be the same colour. Oh, mad decisions. Some of the stuff they do these days, but I am enjoying the shape of this. It's got big wheels on the bottom, so it will roll along nice, and the bit goes all the way. No, it doesn't go all the way around, it stops. Gets to a point and then it stops. But, you know, do you need it to go all the way around in one motion? Big question on my mind has been, do the pinchers pinch? They do. Oh, they do, and they still come off really easily. Yes. Oh, pinchers confirmed for pinching. How has that gone on there? Oh no, I don't even know how they attach. I wasn't expecting the antlers to move, to be honest, but they do, and then they come off, and maybe that's like 3mm. You could use them as weapons for a small guy or something. I don't know. There's not enough room for me to get that back in there now. Anyway, right, I'll do robot mode in a minute, but yeah, maybe there'll be something for like a theoretical future Leader 1 who would go in this hole here. Maybe he could hold them and use them as shivs or something. Alrighty then, here we go, the main event. Got to tell you, the instructions are quite thick there, which is, I suppose, nice to see for a leader that should be doing more things. But this, oh yeah, that's good. That's good. It's, yeah, is a nice size. It's very nearly as big as the old one, actually. His hands are too small. I'll say that straight away. That tiny little fists he's got here. And I keep expecting the arms to move with this whole bit moving, but no, it's just under here, it just moves, and you have to get a little flap out of the way if you want to get his shoulders working, which I don't really like, but there's some really big, nice joints going on in there for the transformation anyway. Loads more stuff actually moves around here to put them where they go, which is nice, you know, it's an extra bit of stuff that he does. Turns out the pinchers don't pinch. I was just sort of squeezing them until they came off. It's an odd sort of situation where they're on one peg, and then there's another smaller peg which is at a different angle. So if you want to have them kind of pinched in, they will stay there, but there isn't a hinge there. That's a weird thing. Anyway, it's a good looking robot. I've got to say, the colours are there. I would have kind of liked the orange to be, you know, way more fluorescent like the old one was. But yeah, it does it. It does it. It had the little face cover as well, but instead of it sliding down, you just sort of fold it in, which is a bit of a cop-out when you've got the slider sculpted in on his chest, but whatever, you know, parts count and stuff, and I suppose, I don't know, the idea of stuff getting jammed, is that more elegant to do it that way? I don't know. There's some cool detail to look at under his chest. I have to say, overall, the detail is really, really good. There's just loads of it all over the place, and I'm a bit of a loss to say that any of it really needs any more paint to bring it out, apart from that orange bit. I'm glad you've got the sort of grating sculpted into his shoulders, even if the badges aren't sculpted in. Why don't we get sculpted badges anymore? You know, as if you're going to repaint this into something that isn't a Decepticon. Why can't you just sculpt those badges on there and leave them there? Oh, but the tooling costs money. It's very expensive to cut a steel mould, you know. Little bit of a shame he hasn't got light piping like the Combiner Wars one, but I suppose that's where that will continue to have some kind of relevance or advantage or reason to stay in my house. I don't know. The head sculpt is good, though I'm not sure about the expression on his face. It's really like, his mouth looks really wide. I don't know. You could do with a little badge, in the little slidey bit in the middle of his chest. Maybe I'll find a sticker small enough to go in there. I doubt I will. The claw hand is sculpted in a strange sort of position, but at least it tells you that it's different and it's not a fist, so that's still calling back nicely to the old one. He's got really big feet that are hollow. I suppose I can take or leave that with the silly. I mean, I appreciate that they continue to stick all the 5mm holes in all these toys, but why they do it for ones that are bigger than a Voyager, I don't know, because like, what are you going to put in there that's going to look any good, that is actually going to support his weight? Stick some blast effects in there, then he can be booshing off to strike a deal with Unicron at the end before he gets gunched by all the gears closing and stuff and horribly decomposed in a piece of art that will never leave me. Oh, but wait, no, I'm misremembering. At that point in the comic, he has a couple of like turbines he straps to his legs so that he can fly, because he can't fly normally. But what are we here for? What's the main event? Knees. After 20 years, these gorgeous, massive shins can actually bend in the direction that you want them to, and it's ratcheted. It's got to click. It's got to click in there. Oh, I'm so glad it does that. I would have been perfectly happy with just a nice, tight, normal joint, but that's the motion I've wanted for so long. You know, you just know that on the old one, if they had given him knees, they would have made a hell of a lot of noise, and this is the closest thing we're going to get these days, because they don't do ratchets the same either, do they? But and his hips do it as well. You know, that's the other joint that was never there. He can actually do that. You know, he's not just kind of weird crab walking all the time. He can have functioning limbs. Well done, mate. I'm happy for you. Yeah, these kind of do that as well, which I'm not averse to, actually. You know, sort of a little bit more personality if you want to squidge him in that way so his arms can go out a bit further. It's good. It's solid. It's fun. It looks nice. It does things. He does do this, and then you do this, and then you do. Ooh. Big joints. There we go. I suppose that's the last thing to show. I'm glad that it can do it, but how often I'm going to do that, I don't know. Obviously, maybe not obviously, because you probably don't know, actually. The fact that they've said that they're going to do a tidal wave that can combine with him is a nice thing, because it means you'll be making some more use of this and sticking some silly boat bits on him, even if it means that really a tidal wave that they're going to make will be smaller than I would have liked. Because to stick all those bits on a leader, you'd think it's just going to be another leader, maybe a commander. I know everyone wants a Titan one, but I think that might be going a little bit too far. Let's wait and see. All I know is when you do that, it's exposing a port on his back there. So it's got to be for something, right? I've just noticed in the back of the tank turret, you've got the bit where the batteries would go, sculpted like there are batteries in there. Yeah, there's been some good energy put into this toy. I'm happy with it. I think I'm more happy with this than I was when I opened up Starscream, who has grown on me but still seems a bit weird and still seems a bit off. This is much more the ticket, and I'm hoping will go very, very nicely with the Optimus, who will undoubtedly be the absolute boy of the year. I don't think there's any question in that. I don't think anything is going to come along to make that not be a true statement. Didn't I tell you 2023 would be my year? I'm eating good. Num 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 num. Yes, that's Megatron. He's good. Let's see who I talk about next time when I actually remember to make a video. Toodaloo.